Hello, everybody, and welcome back to day 19 of the 100 Days of Making Comics Challenge. Today, I wanted to talk about how I feel like I'm slowing down. And what I mean by that is, I feel like I'm not making any progress towards actually getting this story out. And technically I am making progress. I'm doing a lot of things, but those things are all like, okay, I'm gonna give you an example. Right now I'm showing you my recording of me thumbnailing 2 pages of my first chapter, and this is just repeats of what I have been doing, which is thumbnailing and paneling and all of that. And I think that I don't really know how to explain it, except that right now the only thing that's stopping me from starting on the actual final pages, like starting the sketches and doing all of that, is this idea in my head that I have to thumbnail the entire chapter. And that's what I intended, was to thumbnail the entire chapter and then sketch the entire chapter and then line and color the entire chapter. And, you know, on paper, that makes sense. Except in reality, it has been taking way longer than I thought it was to actually complete 1 chapter's worth of steps. And so that has led to me feeling as though I'm not getting any progress done, because I've just been doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I've thumbnailed about 11 pages, and the entire chapter is, hold on, let me actually look. Okay, the entire chapter is about 21 pages, so right now I am halfway through thumbnailing, and that's, if I say it like that, it doesn't seem like there's that much to go. It's like, oh, you're already halfway through, so, you know, just finish the other half and then continue on, but that's what I'm basically trying to say is that I feel as though half of the chapter thumbnailed is far enough into the chapter and far enough past me starting to thumbnail and all of that, where I feel like I'm not going to change anything about the script in chapter 1. I'm already writing chapter 6. I've already finished sectioning the chapter 2 script into pages and panels, so chapter 2 is like already ready to go for thumbnails. I just have to finish thumbnailing chapter 1, and then I'm already like halfway through. Oh no, chapter 3 is also already finished with being sectioned for pages and thumbnails, so those 2 are already ready to go. I just gotta finish thumbnailing chapter 1, and then I'm like halfway through the paneling of chapter 4, and so the progress that I'm making on the writing front feels like it's going way faster than the drawing front, and I knew that was going to happen. Like, obviously writing scripts is way faster, not necessarily easier, but just faster than drawing the page. So I knew it was going to happen, but the thing is that I figured that I would have started sketching by now. I figured that because when I was planning the general time frames of when things were going to get done, I did know that chapter 1 definitely needed to be finished scripted by the time I started thumbnailing. But once it's done once I've done scripting, hold on, how do I say that? When chapter 1's script is done, after that, there's no marker of I need to get this done with the thumbnails before I can start the sketches and the line art. There's none of that after the script is done. It's just it just then all depends on how fast I get the thumbnails done. And I guess I didn't expect it to take this long, and I feel like I'm repeating myself. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that I'm not going to stall myself any longer. I'm not going to prevent myself from continuing just because I'm doing things slower than I thought, and then also doing things faster than I thought. So I'm thumbnailing slower than I thought, but I'm getting to the sketches faster than I thought. You know? I figured by the time I started sketching, the thumbnails would be done. So I'm definitely doing that faster, but the thumbnails are only halfway done, which is way slower. And so yeah, so I'm just gonna throw down the towel with trying to get an entire part of the story done before starting another, because that's valid, but not for me personally. For me personally, that sounds like torture, because if I thumbnail a whole chapter, that's a whole chapter done, but only in the thumbnail portion, which in the grand scheme of making an entire finished comic chapter is like a sliver of the prep. So to me, it doesn't feel like that much is being accomplished. So yeah, that's all I have to say on that front. So next episode, I will be doing the sketch of the first chapter, maybe the second, depends on how fast the sketch goes. But if the thumbnail of the first page is anything to go by, I imagine I'm going to spend quite a while on it, which is, in retrospect, not the smartest. I'm gonna try not to agonize over it, because the thumbnail is already done. I already have the angle and what's gonna be in the panels, like, completed, figured out, and such, so hopefully there's not gonna be so much back and forth on, oh, does this look good, or what if it was like this, and all of that. So, I'm excited! Woo! And also, as long as I'm talking about moving forward, today is episode 19, which means that I have 5 more days until the first quarter of the 100 days challenge is done. And for those of you who hadn't seen my creating comic goals video, I don't remember which day it was, but it's one of them, I talked about splitting the 100 days into 4 quarters, and so that I make goals for that specific quarter, and it turns what is quite an overwhelming challenge and project into much more manageable 25-day chunks. So, we're almost done with quarter 1, and then we'll be moving on to quarter 2, and that's kind of crazy. At this point, I'm like, ooh, this is really becoming a challenge. Like, it was a challenge before, but now it's like, ugh, this is a challenge. And hopefully this is just the middle slog talking and not gonna be like how I feel about it for the whole rest of the time. And it could also be just that I've been feeling like I'm not getting any progress done. And when I feel like I'm not getting any progress done, then I feel like I'm not showing you any content worthy of making a whole video about, which is also part of the reason why I'm continuing on. I probably would have did the whole chapter anyways of thumbnails before moving on to the sketches if I wasn't doing this challenge. But I am doing this challenge, and so I feel like it's okay if I continue. And it's good for me mentally and also for you, content-wise. Yeah, so now it's truly, I have said everything that I wanted to say. And so, I thank you for watching, and I will see you next video. Goodbye.